Once upon a time at a bustling railway station there sat a beggar in a quiet corner. He would sit there every day holding out his hand for alms. But very few gave him money. His clothes were tattered, his face seamed with hardship, and his days passed in hopelessness. One day a wise monk on his way to catch a train walked past the bier. Out of habit the beggar extended his hand and asked for alms. The monk paused and looked at him, his eyes filled with curiosity and compassion. He asked the beggar, "My friend, why don't you do some work to earn a living instead of begging?" The beggar looked up and replied, "Please don't mock me. I am a beggar. I have no money, no skills, and no way to start work. That's why I beg." The monk nodded thoughtfully and asked, "How much do you earn from begging?" "Not much," the beggar replied bitterly. "People are heartless. They rarely give me anything, and I don't understand why." The monk knelt beside him and said, "My friend, people don't give you anything because you don't give anything in return. If you want others to give you, you must offer them something in return, and always remember, life is about progress. Don't remain stagnant. Keep moving forward, no matter how small the step." With that, the monk placed a few coins in the beggar's hat, smiled kindly, and walked away. The beggar sat there pondering over the monk's words. Give something in return, he thought. What could I possibly give? Just then his eyes fell upon some wild flowers growing near the railway tracks. An idea sparked in his mind. He got up, plucked a handful of the flowers, and decided that from now on, whenever someone gave him alms, he would offer them a flower in return. The next day he put his plan into action. To his surprise, people smiled when they received the flowers. Some even gave him more money than before. For the first time in years, the beggar felt a sense of joy. He did not feel helpless anymore. He felt like he was doing something meaningful. Days turned into weeks, and the beggar's simple act of giving started to attract more attention. More people stopped to give him alms, charmed by the small gift of flowers he offered in return. Soon he had saved enough money to think beyond begging. Then one day the man's words echoed in his ears, "Keep progressing in your life, don't remain stagnant." The next day he went to the market and purchased beautiful flowers. With the money he had collected, he started making and selling flower bouquet to people. Travelers happily bought his bouquet and his business began to flourish. If you enjoyed this story, hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon.